Let's get started. I hope you can see me. Sorry, there's no light here. Okay, so we have wow, we have a lot of categories today to get through because I categorize the different questions. So if I don't answer your question specifically, please don't worry. Okay, I've grouped the questions together so that I can treat all of them because if I answer individual question, we'll be here for 5 hours. Okay, so the first category is consistency, motivation, and balancing life. The questions here were how can I remain consistent in spite of 9 to 5, family, unclear career direction? How do I stay motivated or raise my spark again when stress and low challenge work have drained me? How can one stay consistent when finances are a barrier? Okay. So a lot of times we think that consistency is easier when life is easier. Oh, thank you, darling. Thank you. Thank you so much. We think consistency is easier when life is easier. So we think that is when we have money, they will be able to be more consistent. Mhm. We think that, oh, it's when our kids are older. That's when we'll be able to be more consistent. So these questions were about consistency, motivated, consistent. Okay. So what I was saying before that happened was you consistency does not depend on circumstance. I know we think it does, but it doesn't. Consistency depends on the level to which you are sick of your life. And one thing I can tell about a lot of people is that we know how to use mouth to say we are tired of life. We don't know how to use our actions. We don't know how to use our behavior. We don't know how to reflect the fact that we are tired of our current life in our priorities. But if it is to sit and open your teeth to be saying it, that's what we know how to do. So somebody say, I have 9 to 5 job, I have family demands, I have unclear career direction. How can I stay consistent? Okay. So what are you waiting to happen first? You want to quit your job first. Then you want your family to evaporate so that they're not around again for you to have family demands. And then you want to have like a roadmap for the next 50 years of your life. Is that what you're waiting for? To pick one thing in your life and be consistent. If it is learning, be consistent with it. If it is putting your work out there, posting your work, be consistent with it. If it is engaging on LinkedIn, be consistent with it. What are you waiting for? That's why when people tell me, I'm tired, I'm so tired of it, I'm so tired, I take it with a grain of salt. The only people I believe that they are really tired of life is when I see it in their behavior. Okay. So a lot of you think that consistency the only thing consistency depends on is you being sick of your current situation. That's the only thing. Show me somebody that did not have any responsibility, did not have any care in the world, and yet was not consistent. I will show you somebody that everything was stacked against them, and yet they made progress. You're waiting for things to feel easy. You're waiting for things to get easier before you say you'll be consistent. Consistency is forged in difficulty. That's when that is where consistency gets its power. Is when things are difficult. Is when everybody else is just, giving up and falling back. Okay, I don't know how to say it more than that. When I started learning how to code, I was pregnant with my second child. When I started boot camp, I had a baby on my breast. I will be in class, my baby's on my breast, biting me. I will be in class. She will go to bed at 7. I will stay up till midnight. From when she goes to bed till midnight. And I would have even stayed longer. It's just that around that midnight, she wakes up for feeding. So that's when I will say, okay, let me break. Let me go and feed her. Then I will sleep. Then I wake up the next day. Then throughout the day, my son could nap for like 3 hours. I don't know what happened to his sister. His sister came. She treated nap like the enemy of God. So during the day, she does not nap. I went to interviews where they laughed me out of the room. I went to interview face to face. This was before COVID. Face to face interview. They laughed in my face. They were laughing as I gathered my things to leave the room to go out. They are laughing at my back. Some of you just go and take the poverty that you say you want to escape. Go and take it and wrap it around yourself like a blanket. Because really and truly, the way you are moving, you are not serious. It never entered you. It has not entered you enough. It has not penetrated to your core. Some of the questions you people ask. Some of you, the person here say family demand. Learn to say no. There are some of you, Jesus wait buy for the world. It's like you want to come and do secondary, you want to come and die again. That's what is dealing with some of you. You don't know how to say no. You want to be liked, you want to be accepted. You want the family to think highly of you. There are some of you, the only thing standing in the way of your greatness is your willingness to be hated. It's your willingness to be insulted. It's your willingness to be written off by quote unquote family. No, I'm not saying if it's children, if you look after your children, no, I'm not talking about children. I'm talking about grown as adults. That as adult as they are still looking for who to be a parasite in there. That's what I'm talking about. I'm not talking about children you brought into the world. Okay? If you brought children into the world, you must do right by them. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about grown as adults. And because of one useless man of God told you how many years ago, you have turned into mini little Jesus in your family. Then what are they paying back here? Okowa, Okowa, Yawowa. Let's move on. How does one stay consistent when finances are a barrier? Is it not the finances being a barrier that will make you, some of these your questions are very daft. Is it not the finances being a barrier that should motivate you, that should make you to be consistent? Like, okay, what is the impact of the finances being a barrier? You don't have laptop. Go and hustle. Go and sell alcohol. Go and hustle and raise money to buy laptop. What do you want me to tell you? What do you want me to tell you? Career transition. Sorry, the second category. Let me check the chats to see if there's anything in the chats. Okay, people are laughing. Okay, you say you want mentor corner. Some of you are not used to this. You are used to people singing kumbaya, kumbaya. Yeah, that's not what you get here. Not in binary circle. Okay, career transitions and paths decision. Okay, as a pharmacist transitioning to cybersecurity, how can I revamp my LinkedIn? Just start talking about cybersecurity. Nobody gives a shit about what you posted before. Like, don't just start posting as if you never did healthcare and forget about the healthcare stuff. Okay, you post enough, the healthcare stuff will go far back. Okay, switching from data analytics to project management. How do I navigate the switch and stand out within 6 months? It's me. You are giving limits, time limits. It's me. How do I navigate the switch and go and ask ChatGPT? Some of these questions, you need to go to ChatGPT, and then you're asking me questions. You say you want to do it within 6 months. Am I a timekeeper? Do I control time? Okay, what if your transition takes 18 months? Are you going to abort it at 6 months because it didn't happen in 6 months? Is that what you're going to do? Me, I want to stand out within 6 months. Take your 6 months and get out. See, because the way you ask question, so I'm supposed to sit here and say, let me come up with a roadmap that will get him there and say, me that I entered this tech before COVID. It didn't take me 6 months. Nonsense. I study software engineering and I'm learning cloud computing. Should I focus on software engineering or learn both? Learn both. Do you have the mind for it? Do you have the brain for it? Do you have the capacity for it? If you are daft and slow, then you might have to learn one before the other. But if you have the capacity, you can learn both because both are related. The software that you are coding, does it not live on the infrastructure that is in the cloud? Abi? Like they are distinct areas, but they share an umbrella. So it depends on your capacity. Me, when I was learning to code, I couldn't do Ruby, Rails, and React. When I was learning to code and I was in bootcamp, React was gaining popularity. React exploded on the scene, and everybody was talking about it. But knowing that I had an infant child and I was healing from a traumatic birth experience, and it was all I could do to just continue, focusing on the Ruby Rails bootcamp, I made the decision just to focus on Ruby Rails because my bandwidth would not have allowed me to do both. So you might think I was insulting the person. I'm not insulting. I'm talking from experience. Me personally, I was too daft to do both Ruby Rails and React as somebody who was just learning how to code. So I chose to focus on one. And that was the one that I used to get a job. And then it was on that job that I now started learning React. I know people that have learned 3 things at the same time and they were able to see progress. So one is not better than the other. You have to look at yourself and ask yourself, what is the capacity of my brain? You understand? What is the capacity of my mind? Then you use that to decide whether you will do both or whether you will do one. I don't know how to say more. Yes. So what was I saying? What tech skill is trending and can help me land a job faster? Go and ask ChatGPT. I'll tell you people for free. Like if you want to turn me into Google, I'm not saying your papa. You want to turn me into, go and ask ChatGPT. Okay. I don't blame you. It's because other people you went and sat under were carrying you like egg. So you think you come here and do the same thing. Okay. Freelancing and monetizing skills, the third category. This is mental corner for those of you who don't know. Okay. How do I begin freelancing as a complete beginner, considering competition, low pricing, and difficulty getting jobs on major platforms? You know why you're experiencing all because you're a beginner. You say, how do I, as a beginner? That is, you just come, JJC, you just arrive. You say you want to freelance as a beginner. It's called trial and error. It's called try your luck. You think we that used years to gain traction as freelancers, you think you will just come and step over our head and be making money from day one? You are joking. How do I begin freelancing as a complete beginner? Please, can you join Technical Ben's community? I always, people who are very, strong on freelancing, go to Technical Ben's community. Yes, go and join. Just look up Technical Ben on Twitter and join his community. The first thing when you're starting to freelance, you have to be very clear about what product you are offering to create value for people. Freelancing is not like 9 to 5. 9 to 5, you can go with some expertise, but also expect them to also train you. In freelancing, nobody is interested in training you. Okay, freelancing, they are hiring you for expertise. So the first step in freelancing as a beginner is to understand what is it you're actually expert at. So the way this person said, I'm a beginner, I don't know if they're expert in anything. What are you expert at? What can you do without any supervision whatsoever and deliver a top quality product? That's required for freelancing. Not like 9 to 5, where they will hire you knowing that you don't know everything. The one that you know, you execute. The one you don't know, they will train you. Freelancing is not like that. Okay. Can developers still get HTML, CSS only gigs in 2025, 2026? Yes. You just have to find the markets. You have to find the market of people who are hiring for that. You can start in the village. If you go to I promise you, if you go to the village, you will meet people who have never heard of HTML and CSS. So if you can convince the villagers to pay you to build static website, because people want to ask questions, go to your grandfather's village. I mean, the one inside that does not even have plumbing, does not have running water. I guarantee you, you will find people who have never heard of HTML, CSS. So go and convince them to pay you to build HTML, CSS, static website for them. And when you build it, they will be so impressed. Now, their capacity to pay you is another discussion, but you will find gig. You will find gig. I promise you, you will find gig in the village. You can go to Oyubia, my own village. I can show you how to get there. Go to Oyubia. You will find gig. And they will be so impressed with you. They will call everybody to come and see what you did. Okay, now. Hmm. How do I charge clients without underpricing or overpricing? Trial and error. Trial and error. You have to use trial and error to understand the market you have access to. Whenever somebody says the market, it's not just the market, it's the market you have access to. The market I have access to is very different from the market Motorayo has access to, very different from the market Bumi has access to. So you have to understand the market you have access to and then ask yourself, what is that market willing to pay? What sort of services impress them enough that they're willing to pay a lot? Then you use that information to now set your own price because that's the market you have access to. What's the point in setting your price according to a market you don't yet have access to? How will you sell? Some people tell me, oh, what should I charge? Charge $1 million. You can charge whatever the hell you want. The issue is not what you charge. The issue is what you sell. So the way you figure that out for most of us is trial and error. It's trial and error. Collecting data, tracking things. If you see a market you don't have access to that you want to have access to it, you have to start to study that market from afar so that you understand how to position yourself for people in that market to be attracted to you. You understand? How can I monetize my skills while still learning? Whatever skill you've learned so far, package it in a way that make you look like an expert and then put yourself out there, start selling yourself. That's how you monetize your skills. Okay. So for example, if basic JavaScript and you can create, basic landing pages with smooth scrolling and, you can integrate a form service, for people to have contact form and all of that. But then you are now learning React, or you're now learning some strong front end libraries. Even with that basic JavaScript that you have, you can market yourself to, email marketing opportunities. You can market yourself to, parts of the market that, are not really familiar with, internet, but maybe they would like, maybe one local church somewhere that wants a website, you can market yourself there and get that contract. Build very basic, just plain, only all it needs is plain JavaScript website for maybe some local, I mean, you can. I'm not saying it's in a sort of obnoxious way. I'm being serious. You can while you're still learning. It all depends on how much are you willing to market yourself, how much are you willing to put yourself out there. How much are you ready to have evidence of what you can produce for people when they ask you, oh, okay, if I hire you, what do I get? You can answer in a compelling way. So you can monetize. I was making money before I learned how to code. I went and learned WordPress. I went and learned theme integration, plugin integration. I didn't know how to code, but I was making money through my digital agency because I knew how to pitch myself. I knew how to listen to people's business pain points and come up with a solution and quickly assemble it and then show them a demo. And when they saw the demo on video, they were like, oh, Arit, this will be amazing for me. How much? And I'll tell them $500. It's so much. I say, uncle, that's the price. Let me think about it. Okay, uncle, no problem. 3 weeks later, Arit, are you really sure that thing? Yes, uncle, that's the price. Something happened today in business. I was just thinking of that thing you built. I say, yes, this thing that I built will really streamline your business operation, uncle. It's $500. That money is much now, Arit. I've been knowing you for long. I say, I appreciate the relationship, uncle. It's $500. Okay. At some point, uncle will buy because uncle wants the benefit of what I built. But yes, I didn't know how to code. Okay. One thing that I see that is very common with Nigerians is that you keep looking for other things, other platforms, other people to do the work that belong to you. Some of you, the reason why you ask so many questions about Upwork is because your dream is to just open Upwork accounts, make it available for clients, and then clients will be banging down your door. You are lazy. You are lazy. Go and sit down somewhere. You are lazy. That's what a lot of you want. You just don't say it. So what you come with, the questions you come with is, how can I optimize my Upwork? How can I be successful on Upwork? How can I get more notice on Upwork? How can I? It's because deep down, you Koro don't want to do the work. You want Upwork to do it for you. Go and sit down. You are lazy. Go and sit down. Go and wait for somebody to create a tree that the leaf on the tree is money. Go and wait for that because that is what you really want. You want to wake up one day and be plucking from a tree. That's not how it works. If you want this to go, if you want this to cook, if you want this to go, you will work for it. Make your peace with it. That's what is affecting a lot of you. You have not really made your peace with the requirement that you will work. You will work. So you are wanting Upwork to come and do magic for you. Oh, I hear somebody's testimony. They said they made $50,000 on Upwork. Okay, let me go and open Upwork. And then you open Upwork and somehow by magic, you think people will just be pinging you, just be DMing you with money in their hand. Take it, take it, take it. You, I don't know how to say it more than that. Yeah. Mhm. So the fourth category is tech career growth. It's a how can a middle intermediate front end grow without becoming full stack? Anyway, it's the last mentor corner of the year. Maybe that's why you people created the provoking, provocative questions for the last mentor corner because it's like you want to provoke me today. What are they chatting in the chat? It's if you don't get mine for unfiltered truth, exit the group chat. Okay now. Okay. This is Queen Harry Circle. It's not like all those other communities you're coming from. Okay. Is specializing in UX or accessibility still viable given fewer job postings? Some of you don't read your question before you send it. You say, is specializing in UX or accessibility still viable? Is it still viable? You now said, given the fewer job posts. So the end of the question, as you not answered the beginning of the question, you say you have noticed is fewer job posting, but you're asking me, is it viable? You should study the market. Now, for that initial question, you want to grow without becoming a full stack. Okay, let me tell you something about how companies ship now. Okay, companies ship features, they ship entire features. Okay, because they look at what their customer base need, they look at what their target market need, and they create the concept as a full feature. Companies don't do this nonsense. Oh, we are going to need the front end part, and they were going to no. What they say is we need this feature, we need this capability, we need the ability to do this. Oh yeah, take. They now give it to the engineering team. Okay. So now the engineering team, the team lead, the manager, whoever, now have to pieces the feature down, right? They have to pieces it. Okay. Now, there was a time that after they pieces it, they will separate the front end from the back end. Then they'll go to their front end team and give them the front end. They'll go to the back end team, they will give them. Then they'll say, okay, when the two of you have done your part, oh yeah, come together and stitch it together. Okay. Those days are gone. I'm not saying there are still not companies who operate like that, but I'm telling you, those companies are fast dying out. The protocol now being embraced is engineering teams that can deliver on a feature. Not engineering teams that will ask you, PCC team to front and back. No. So when I started coding, I was 100% back-end engineer. I couldn't build a front end to save my life. That's no longer true because my career forced me to pick up front end. My career forced me to pick up React/TypeScript. My career forced me to understand CSS on a deeper level. And then the different offshoots, SCSS, SAS, all that, right? My career forced me to get very comfortable with front end libraries and style sheet libraries. Okay, so I don't know what to tell you. If you have adamantly made up your mind that I'm not going to touch backend, more power to you. I'm not saying you cannot see job, but I guarantee you, if it is between you, Agba, front end, please mute yourself. Whoever is that, mute yourself. If it is between you, front end, that is maybe level 8 out of 10, and another candidate whose front end is level 6, but they also have back end of level 6, I guarantee you, is that one that will get the job. You that have front end of level 8, 9, okay, is that second candidate that will get the job, because that second candidate has a higher ability to deliver on complete features. Not that they will fry the pancake on one side and then now remove it from the frying pan to look and say, okay, we want to fry the second side. Okay. So do with that information what you. I'm not telling you how to build your career. Build it however you want. I'm just telling you from somebody who sits on the hiring table, for somebody who has sat on the hiring decision table. I'm just telling you who they will choose between those two candidates, assuming every other thing is the same. Okay. How can I position myself for entry level product? That's ChatGPT. Okay, go to ChatGPT. Just ask ChatGPT, how can I position myself for entry level product UX design roles, and what skills should I prioritize? Go and ask ChatGPT. That is a perfect ChatGPT question. Because if I were to answer that question for you, that's what I would do. I would take that question and go and ask ChatGPT. Then I will come and be giving you answer like it came from my head. I'm not going to play you like that. Go and ask ChatGPT. Okay. Okay. Section 5, mentoring. This is where a lot of the annoying questions were. So I deleted most of them. I just kept a few. Okay. Because if you've been with me for any length of time, you know exactly how I feel about mentoring. But it's okay. Let's look at them together. What's the best way to approach a mentor and clearly communicate the guidance that I need? I tell you for free, don't let that mentor be me. Okay. Don't let that mentor be me. Okay. Make sure the mentor you are approaching, I'm not a member of that list. Okay. If you're not making money in your career, you don't need a mentor. If you're not making consistent money in your career, you don't need a mentor. As far as I'm concerned, mentoring is most effective when you have accomplished a baseline level of success, and what your mentor is coming in to do is to combine your unique accomplishment and your unique direction with their deeper level expertise and knowledge on market forces and industry trends. So there are some of you, again, going back to that point that I made, you're looking for somebody to do your work for you. You are looking for somebody's back, the way I used to back my daughter when she was younger. You are looking for somebody's back to ride like this. You don't want to do trial and error. You don't want to suffer. So you are looking for whose shoulder to stand on, which in principle is not bad. It's just that what have you accomplished to earn that privilege of standing on somebody's shoulder? Because you are not going to stand on me that suffer. No, the way you will suffer. You understand? At least let's reach a baseline. Reach a baseline where I can look and say, okay, whatever I input into this person is going to yield dividend. Then I'm willing to mentor somebody when I have seen strong evidence of their ability to create value. That's when I'm willing to mentor somebody. But you come with your confusion, you come with your ignorance, and you have not done every step that is currently available to you to get knowledge and get wisdom and get input from the interwebs, then it is my brain, the brain that I use sweat, blood, and tears to develop. It is my brain you want to come and pick. No. Laziness manifests in many ways. I'm not afraid to say it. Argue with your mother. Laziness manifests in many ways. A lot of people think laziness is somebody that just sit around doing nothing. It's not true. The best way to approach a mentor for guidance is have money to pay them. At least that will make the mentor to pay attention to you. Have money to pay them. But you don't have money, do you? You know. Okay. How do I structure meaningful check-ins with a mentor so I receive real feedback and track? It's like you want to be your own mentor. How do I structure meaningful check-ins with a mentor so I receive real feedback and track progress? If you have to do that for the mentor, is that mentor what? Is that actually a mentor? You see what I'm trying to say. If you have to be the one to develop the check-in strategy and all of, then what is the mentor's job? What is the mentor doing? Hmm? I just want to say their name. There's somebody in the community I've personally decided to mentor in 2026, like one-on-one. And they're not paying me. But the reason why is because I see that they are worth the investment. As soon as I told them I was going to mentor them, I gave them a list of like 5 things to go and complete before the start of the new year so that we can hit the ground running. I gave them like pretty comprehensive list of what to go and prepare and get in place. They are not the ones that did that. I did that. So which mentor are you dealing with if you feel that you are the one that have to come up with strategy, checking strategy, and as a beginner in project management, what should I focus on so a mentor can guide me effectively? So you already have a mentor? That's a question you should ask your mentor. If you already have a mentor, that's a question you should ask your mentor. Is what should you focus in so that their guidance can be effective? You ask your mentor that question. That's assuming you already. I don't know if you have a mentor. Do you have a mentor? If you have a mentor, ask them that question. Okay. Chapter 6. Tools, equipment, and entry. This ChatGPT said, which one is tools and equipment? Okay. It's just one question here. He said, I started tech as a VA using my phone and it's been hard. Should I stop, get a job to buy laptop and return later? Will I still be able to learn without starting over? Okay, auntie, because I know it's a female. The VA that you have been doing with your phone, how satisfied have your clients been with it? Because I think for you asking about laptop, it means there's something about using your phone. You say it has been hard. So you know using your phone has been hard, but you're asking me if you should buy laptop. Look, no, no. Continue using the hard phone. Don't buy laptop. Continue struggling with the hard phone. Hmm? Don't buy. Even if someone give you laptop today, reject it. Then don't. They're going to stay doing VA with your phone that you say is hard. It's so hard. Please, but continue with that phone. Some of you are praying that this, you have already shaken for me that this food I'm eating, I will choke. I will not choke. Let me drink water before the opposite to happen. How do I balance? Okay, sorry. Section 7, opportunities and job search strategy. How do I balance the search for high-paying remote roles with mostly receiving? how, do I, how do I balance the search for high-paying remote roles with mostly receiving low-paying offers? Should I hold out or take what I get? Or more? Let me give you the truth. If the offers you are getting are low quality, that's your level. You understand? Those your eye that is so big for the high-paying remote, wallahi, if that was your level, you would be landing those high-paying remotes. Okay? Mhm. So it's your choice. You can hold out and hold out till next end of next year. And then when your bills start banging on the back of your head, that's when you will know that this holdout maybe it's not the best strategy. You say you have your eye on high paying, but the one you are currently getting is the low. That's your level. Okay. Some of you are not you're not ready for the truth. That's like somebody asking that, oh, I want a body. I want to date a baddie. I want to have a baddie for my woman. But it's only the ones that are giving me chance. That's because you are not deserving of a if you were deserving of a baddie will answer you. Okay. I don't know how to say it more than that. I don't know how to say more than that. Okay. So I can't tell you whether because I don't know what your bills level is. You understand? I don't know the level of your bills. So I'm not going to tell you hold out because I don't know your financial situation. Okay. What I can tell you categorically is that those low paying, that's your level. And I'm not saying that's your level in terms of your skills. Your skills might be advanced, but what I mean by that's your level is that's what you are attracting. When I go to market, hmm, when I go to market, and I just roll out of bed, throw on boo, put slippers, put my locks up in a bun, and just go out. I can walk the whole market. Nobody will give me a second look. Nobody. Or maybe those they just good morning, ma. Good morning. Okay. But when I wear my lace, when I dress like this, and I put my hair like this on one side, like this, and then I put on my lipstick. Maybe if I'm feeling very fancy, I'll put lash. My lash will come out like this. Once I enter markets, no less than three people. No less. Once I enter markets, oh, good morning, ma'am. Wow, you look so beautiful today. How can I help you? How can I service you? Okay. Am I the same person? Yes. But am I packaged different? Yes. Okay. So that's what I mean by your level. I'm not insulting you. I'm not saying that you are not worth the high paying jobs. What I'm saying is there is something in the way you are presenting yourself that it is only the low paying ones that are looking for your market. All right. So do with that information what you will. I know when I'm looking for certain impact, I know how I dress. I know that when I go out and I know I don't want to spend a dime on myself, I know how I dress to accomplish that. I know how to present myself so that at that bar, men will be fighting themselves to be the first one to buy me a drink. Okay. And I know how I dress when I don't want anybody to bother me. But I'm the same person. I'm the same woman. Okay. How do I find paid data analysis internship in fintech? ChatGPT. Okay. ChatGPT. How can I stand out and get a job? That's how the person asked the question. You think that's how the person think. I don't know if you can see. How can I stand out? And that's exactly how they ask the question. So I don't. How can I stand out and get a job? Well, you first have to try and get a job and not stand out so that you see, maybe it's trial and error. You figure out, okay, I did it this way, it didn't work. I did it that way, it didn't work. I did it this way, I didn't work. It didn't work. It also depends on the market. Like it depends on what is the market looking for. Do you know what the market is looking for? Have you done your research to know what the market is looking for? When people post testimonials in our channel, in our testimonials channel, in WhatsApp, many of you will tell them congratulations. None of you will DM them to ask, if you don't mind sharing, what is the industry of the role and what do you think you did well to make you land? Many of you don't go. You just say congratulations, congratulations. Oh, I'm so happy for you. But some of you don't go further to maybe say, let me ask this person if they are willing to share details of this success so I can better understand what the market is looking for. You're waiting for me to tell you to do it. Abi. Okay. Hunger never wire you. See, you get to see. God. Many of you know my story. You get to a place in your life. People will say, There are mansions in heaven. I don't give a shit. Baba, with all due respect, I don't. I don't. You know why? You know why? You know why I don't give a shit? Because it's heaven. Even if I sleep in the grass, mosquito will not bite me. Animal will not come for me. You understand? Mhm. So I don't concern myself with heaven. I don't. I'm just trusting the good Lord to deliver me to where. Shame, please. We don't want to see your handsome face. Mhm. Thank you.
Okay.
It's okay. Just mute yourself and turn off your camera. Ekushe. So, as long as the good Lord, see fit to welcome his baby, because as far as I'm concerned, I'm Jesus' baby. Chike now. If at the point I enter the heaven, they tell me that my eternal job is to be shining Apostle Peter's shoes, I will shine it. You understand? Without complaint. Because I have made heaven. What again? What again? I don't did the heaven. What again? Even if they tell me that, marriage feast of the lamb, you will not sit down, you will be serving drinks and hors d'oeuvres. Wala no day. Just give me my uniform. Yeah? I will serve those drinks like I have never served before. Because waiting concert na heaven a day. But you see this earth, you see this life here, you see this planet earth where all of us dey so. That's where my focus is. So there are some of you, the way you are moving, it's like, no problem. When you get to heaven, enjoy your 1 million square foot, square meter mansion. Enjoy it to the full. I will come and visit you. Come. How far? Kilo day, kilo shele. So this is your mansion. Don't be small thing, oh. I just say, now you carry gospel. Fine. I will come and visit you, and I will go back to my shack, wherever they've kept me in the corner. No, while I no day, because I day heaven. Section 8, rejection, risk, and decision making. I'm going to answer these questions. Were actually quite good, the questions in this section, so I'm going to answer them well. What are the do's and don'ts after getting rejected from a role? Very good question. I like that question, so I'm going to answer it. Okay. So, there's the reason they call me spicy tech auntie. Some of you didn't know why. Today you know. There's the reason they call me spicy tech auntie. Okay. So, what are the do's? Okay. Well, the do's are you send a thank you message. Okay. Sometimes the rejection email will come from an automated system. But whoever you interacted with, okay, take note of them. Even if you don't have their personal, some companies make it very opaque. Some companies, everything is done automatic, through automatic. But whoever you interacted with, maybe you get their LinkedIn, reach out to them, whoever you interacted with. Reach out to them to say thank you. Thank you for taking the time to talk to me. I learned a lot from the interview process. I have clarity now on the areas I need to work on, and I'm grateful. You reach, because what that shows is it shows your maturity level, and it can make an impression. See, can I tell you my very first tech job? Let me tell you a story, because some of you think I just did blue. Say, is the volume low or is it just me? Is my volume low? Fatuma, is my volume low? Not so say mama ride on. He said, wake up call. He said, you are the ones joking at this point. You guys are funny. He said, a girl can dream. Is it now I'm having so much fun here, even though I've been catching straight bullets? And typically, spicy talk, then sips cold, can't drink. Okay, now this is me and my drink. Okay, hard life shows hard work. Okay, now, yeah. So let me tell you the story of how I got my very first job. Okay, my very first job, it was how many rounds was it? It was 3 round. It was a 3 round interview. This was pre-COVID. Okay, it was a 3 round interview. So the first round was coding challenge. They gave me 3 days to do it. I used the whole 3 days because it was so hard for me. But I used the whole 3 days. Okay, I sent in the coding challenge. So after they evaluated my code, they now moved me to the next level. That next level was talking with the director of the department on phone. So for that, I made sure to do my research on the company, and I researched their competitors, because that company, they have a lot of competitors. So I researched, I looked up the company in the news to see, okay, what is the news carrying? So I really armed myself with a lot of information and question. That conversation went for 1 hour. Why I was able to succeed in that conversation was I came from my digital agency background where I was very accustomed to talking with people about pain points, about industry pain points, industry challenges. I was comfortable with that. So I was able to do well in that phone conversation. Okay. They now invited me to the final round, and that was on site for 4 hours. 4 hours on site. During that on-site, they put me through so many tests. They put me through live coding tests where they were watching me over my shoulder as I was coding. They put me through, this rapid fire round where they asked me HTML 1 to 10, what is your skill? CSS, what is your skill? And they asked me like 20 something different technologies, and they're asking me to rate myself. Okay, I did that one. I now had a panel interview with like 7 engineers. Panel. All of them were asking me question one after the other. I was answering. We broke for lunch. They took me out to lunch. During the lunch, they are still asking me questions, trying to be casual. But even in the casualness, I could tell they were still evaluating me. We did the lunch. Came back from the lunch. We did final. I had to meet like some department heads. I had to meet some team leads. One of the team leads had read my blog because I had included my blog in my resume. So he had actually taken time to read the blog. So he had some questions for me about some of my blog. After 4 grueling hours, I was rejected. And they told me that it was between me and one other person. And the reason why they are going with the other person is because that person has work experience as an engineer, whereas me, I'm a JJC. I'm just coming in brand new. So what they told me was we will not have the bandwidth to mentor you in the way you need to be mentored. So right now we have to go with the person that already had experience. I cried for 3 days to know that you were so close to touching something. You were so close to that validation of, landing your first full-time job as a dev, and to be so close and then have it snatched from you. I okay. So after I cried and I ate ice cream, I now, because I didn't respond, it just let, because it hit me like a bullet. It hit me. So I didn't respond. I went to cry. I cried and cried and cried. At that time, my daughter was 1 year old. So she was even crying. I was crying with her. So she was crying. I was crying. So the following day was when I now responded to the email. And what I responded, Yusuf, you'll be proud of me. I made sure to thank every single person I met during the interview process, particularly that final day. I made sure to make comments. I say, I really enjoyed Venka's question about XYZ. Please let him know I'm definitely going to study more on it and get better. This person, that email was long. And I asked the person, because it was the hiring manager, it was the recruiter I emailed back. I asked her, I said, please, if you wouldn't mind, I don't have the emails of all these people. If you don't mind, please forward this email to them. Let them know, I'm thanking them for giving me a wonderful interview experience. I learned so much, even though I'm sad that I won't get the opportunity to work with all of them. I'm very grateful for having met all of them. Thank you so much. They rejected me in August of 2018. That was when I got the rejection. And I sent that email. The recruiter emailed me back and said, this was a lovely email. Everybody loved meeting you. Arit, you're such a delightful person. Kini, kini, kini. We will keep you in mind. As soon as I got that from her, I throw it in the trash. So what is the first do? You send appropriate thank you messages to whomever you have info for. What is the second to do? Throw the rejection in the trash. Because if you don't do that, it will start to stop you from continuing to attack opportunities. So you have to forget about it. You have to act as if you never applied to that position. And keep moving. That's a do. That was August of 2018. Was when I got that. It was at the end of August I got that rejection. Fast forward to January of 2019. In between those 2 days, I had been rejected multiple times. I had kept applying. I applied to over 100 positions in that 4-month period. And I was rejected from every last one. In fact, there was another one in December. I also got to final round. And just as they were about to make the decision on who is going to get the job, the government shut down that month. And the job I was interviewing for was going to be paid by government funding. So because the government shut down, the funding went away. So they emailed me and said, fortunately, we have to suspend the interview process because we will not have the money to pay you. So when I entered January of 2019, I was very depressed because I had just been through 5 months, August, September, October, November, December. I had just been through 5 months of constant rejection. I was tired. January 2019, I get a call from that recruiter from August. Hey, Arit, I don't know if you remember me. I told her, absolutely, I couldn't forget you. So nice to hear from you. So nice to hear from you. Long story short, she said, well, The heavy hiring we were doing back in August when we spoke with you, we have concluded that hiring process. All the engineers are settled. Everybody is working well. We now have room for a junior engineer, and everybody remembers you. Everybody you met in August, they remember you. And they are all asking, is Arit still available on the job market? We would love to have her as our junior engineer. That's how I got my first job in tech. My very first job, that's how I got it. After being rejected. But it is how you handle the rejection. It is the maturity you use that can leave an impression in somebody's mind. You. So those are the do's. What are the don'ts? Don't crash out. Don't beg for the job. If they are not forthcoming in giving you feedback, don't beg for feedback. There was one email exchange that somebody sent me that, oh, the person asked, do you have any feedback for me that can help me strengthen my candidacy? The company wrote back, oh, as a policy, we don't give specialized feedback to our candidates, but we wish you the best. This person now emailed back, hey, but how do you expect me to improve? You think this is your village? You think you're talking to villagers? The person responded, but how do you expect me to improve? It's not fair. Like I went through that whole interview. It's like the other one that is trending on Twitter or was trending, where he was in the final round and he was in negotiation stages, and he walked up, whether it was to the CEO or the VP or somebody, walked up to them to ask them, hey, what is your own salary? They immediately rejected. That's been trending on Twitter. So what is a powerful don't? Don't lose yourself. Don't allow the pain of the rejection to make you act out of character. Remain respectful and remain mature in all your exchanges with them. Don't start hounding them. They rejected you 1 week later. You email them. Any opportunity, please don't do that. You are begging. You're begging. Please don't beg. Never beg. Never beg. Leave your poverty at the door whenever you are dealing with anybody that has the power to give you a job. Okay, so that's definitely a don't. Okay, one do, and this is just for job searching in general, is track all your job searches. Track all of them. I have a friend who, when she was sacked, not sacked, she was laid off. They did a company wide layoff, and she was one of those impacted. When she was laid off, she took a bunch of interviews and she landed offers at 2 companies. Okay. So the first company, they gave her an offer. The second company, she decided to go with the second company. Okay. So she wrote just a wonderful email thanking that first company for their offer. And she actually explained to them why she was going with the second company. She didn't have to do that, but she explained to them out of respect. I'm going with this company. I feel it's a better fit. They have this, they have that. However, with you all, I'm so great. I was grateful for this. She did her thing. I want to say 6 to 9 months into her work with the other company, the company went bankrupt. It was a startup. About 9 months in, the company could not afford. The company basically was lying to people that, oh yes, we have it. Their runway was actually very short, and so I think they were hoping to raise money, but it failed. So they now had to let everybody go. Do you know what my friend? My friend, please mute yourself. My friend went back to the first company, but she didn't go back to them and say, this other company went out. No. She went back to them and said, first of all, I'm just checking in. I don't know if you remember me. So the recruiter said, oh, of course we remember you. Unfortunately, we didn't get a chance to work together. How is it going at this other company? My friend said, wouldn't you know? It's actually really not working out for me. I'm thinking of leaving. They had already sacked her. He's packaging. She didn't say, oh no, they sacked me. No. Because once you say they sacked me, oh, now they're in a position of power. Now they'll cut your salary. They'll, okay, now you're desperate. So she did not appear desperate. She just went back and she said, oh, wouldn't you know it? It really did not work out. On paper, it looked like this, but unfortunately, my experience within is just not aligned with who I am as a person and who I am professionally. I'm wondering if maybe we can reopen the conversation of me joining your company. Well, luckily, that company had not found somebody as impressive as her to fill the role. So they said, of course, we would love to, so they interviewed her 2 more times and they gave her the job. So a do when you are job hunting is don't burn bridges. When I talked about trash, I'm talking about mentally. Trash rejections. Don't trash the company. Trash the rejection experience, but don't trash the contact. Don't trash the company. Don't trash the opportunity that for whatever reason they didn't give it to you. But that means they were considering it. If they didn't like you from jump, they won't have called you back. If a company does not like you from jump, they don't offer you interview, they just reject you from the beginning. Okay. So especially when you actually interviewed a little bit, keep a running list. Till today, can I tell you, till today, I still have an Excel sheet of every company I have ever applied to from 2018, along with contact information for the people I met in the process and all of that. I still have that list because human beings love dealing with the devil they know. People love dealing with the devil they know. So when somebody feels like they've already met you, they've already gotten a sense for who you are, they are more likely to want to continue dealing with you, particularly if you made a good impression. Particularly if you made a good impression. Because human beings feel more comfortable with the devil they know. They don't want to be taking too many chances. You understand? Mhm. Okay. So, next question. How do you evaluate risk before a big decision? How do you know when to take a risk versus play it safe? Very good question. How do you evaluate risk? How do you know when to take a risk? Okay. It's not every risk that you will take that you'll be able to do deep analysis on. Not every single one of them. There are some risks you will take without much background information, but you just have a gut feeling. Okay. Now, there are some of you, your gut has steered you wrong so many times. But don't trust your gut again. Your gut needs recalibration. You hear me? Your gut needs panel beating. I don't know. Your gut, it needs rewiring. Okay. Because there are many of you right here. You've gone with your guts and you have suffered following your guts. Okay. So if you have suffered following your guts, but don't follow your guts again. Okay. So that's a disclaimer. Yeah. But there are sometimes you just go with your gut feeling when it comes to a risk. But there are smart ways to evaluate risk. Okay. You need to ask yourself, if the worst thing happens, where would that put me? Okay. That if I take this risk, I don't know what the outcome is going to be. I don't know, I don't have any guarantee. But if I take this risk and it goes as badly as it possibly can, where does that land me? And when you answer, Eloma, and when you answer that question of where would the worst outcome possible land me, you need to ask yourself, can I survive that? That's really how you evaluate risk in everything. And this is in life. And I know the person who asked this question. I won't say who it is, but I know who asked the question. Okay. In life, this is not just career. In life, I know those useless pastors you follow love to tell you, oh, think positive. Oh, never envision. Okay. When you grow up, okay, many of you are still children, so I understand how impressionable you are. When you grow up, you will learn to understand that envisioning the worst can equip you preparation wise. That scripture that your useless pastors love to beat you over the head with, if you read it for yourself, you will see many places where even God Himself would present the positive and the negative. When you read the description, like when you spoke to Solomon, I just thought on that. There's a prayer group that I lead, and I just taught them on that. How that resplendent temple, just resplendent in every way, that Solomon dedicated to God. And when God came to talk to him, what did God say? God said, the day you start messing up with me, hmm, the day you start messing up this relationship, you see this glorious thing that you dedicated to me. So they me if I can't enter, so they your priest no fit enter. Okay. You see as it is so. God say, by the time I am done destroying it, not one stone will be standing on top of another stone. Now waiting God tell Solomon. So I'm saying that to say the envisioning, see the picture that God painted for him. God was being very descriptive. God didn't just say, I will destroy it. No, he said, I will destroy and saute one stone, no go still stand on top of another stone. That's a picture, that's imagery that God was painting for Solomon to understand the depth of destruction that will happen to that temple. Okay. So if God Himself can paint a negative picture so vividly, please, my people, learn to envision the potential worst outcome. It helps you to prepare yourself. It does not mean you are wanting it, like those useless pastors tell you. It does not mean you're trying to attract it. No, it means you are preparing yourself, you are fortifying yourself for a potential outcome. Okay. So when you are evaluating risk, you have to look at the worst case that you can possibly fathom. It might help to talk to trusted people because, like I tell you, my friends have very vivid imagination. My friends have very vivid imagination. The one that I cannot imagine, they can imagine times 10. So sometimes I will ask them, please, can you try to come up with the worst case? My friend will roll up her sleeves. Arit, worst case, I will paint it for you. Okay. Then when you consider that worst case, ask yourself, do I have what it takes to bounce back from that? And if the answer is no, then that's how you know that risk might not be worth it. Okay. That's how you know. So much of life is not avoiding things. So much of life is surviving things. When I was young, that was all I cared about. I want to avoid. I want to go and pray and fast so that God will show me who to marry. It's not really that I really, really wanted. I was trying to avoid risk. I was trying to guarantee an outcome for me. So that was why I did it, right? All that fasting and prayer and rolling on the ground is because I wanted to guarantee an outcome for myself. I wanted to guarantee, I almost wanted God to create a puppet for me. Me, I'm a free being. Oh. Me, I'm a free functioning being. But for some reason, in those prayers, I was expecting that somebody will be manufactured in God's factory, manufactured and custom made, custom built for me. So that why? So that in the course of that relationship, I will not experience anything negative. So that used to be my mentality. Avoidance, avoidance, sidestep. God guarantee this. Please guarantee that. Please make this certain. Make this sure. Okay. I am now a little older. And can I tell you, what is far more important is resilience. The people who make it in life are not people that everything went straight for them. The people who make it in life are not those that the stars and the planets always aligned in their favor. No, it is people who survived their darkness, their dark seasons. It's people who survived their valley seasons and came back stronger. That's who makes it. When I say make it, I don't mean flash of money today, gone tomorrow. I'm talking about enduring success. Enduring success is not a function of what you were able to avoid and sidestep, and it's not a function of everything working together. No, it is your ability to survive when things didn't work. It's your ability to survive when you were rejected. It's your ability to survive when that one person that you never thought could say or do something not only said and did it, they said and did it times 10. Okay. So we're talking about evaluating risk. That's how you evaluate risk. Okay. Taking risks ultimately comes down to how much you believe in your ability to survive. And not only survive, but to rebuild yourself, to rebuild, even if all you are left with is ashes, to rebuild from that. That is your risk capacity. So you have to be very honest with yourself. Okay. You have to be very honest with yourself. Okay. So if deep down you know that you don't have what it takes to survive and bounce back if a risk goes wrong, play it safe. You have to be honest with yourself. You have to be honest with yourself. If you must lie, lie to people. Never lie to yourself. Never ever lie to yourself. The minute you start lying to yourself, you are lost. Never lie to yourself. You can lie to other people, but always keep the truth with yourself. Something I told my son, my teenage son, I told him, I said, Judah, I'm your mother. I said, never lie to me. I'm not saying never lie to me so I can punish you whenever you do. I said, no. I said, the reason why I don't want you to lie to me is so that when you tell me the truth, two of us can lie together. That's what I told him. I said, but if you lie to me, I cannot lie for you. So you have to tell me the truth, Judah, so that I can lie for you. So that together, we will come up with the lie together. And we'll tell the lie together. So that as you are lying, you know I will back you up because I know the truth. I said, but if you lie to your mother, then I cannot do that for you. Okay. So that's how I'm raising my children. Okay. Oh, section 9, personal branding. Is it correct to introduce myself as a full stack developer with front end, back end expertise? It's not English that gets you the job. Oh. Okay, just tell you now. I don't want to call the country name. They are foreigners. I just don't want to call the specific country. Maybe talk like that they target them. They are foreigners that cannot speak English, but they are getting all the engineering jobs. But if you ask them to to string a sentence together in Queen's English, they will be failing. The only language they know how to talk is their country tongue, is their mother tongue. But now them, they catch all the engineering jobs all over. Okay. So if you like, you can call yourself a full stack developer with front end, back end, infrastructure, cloud. You can string 27 words together. That's not what will get you the job. Okay. So if I were you, I would just I'll just say I'm a software developer or I'm a software engineer. Finish. I'm a full stack developer with front end, back end expertise. No, I'm a software engineer or I'm a software developer. Shikina. Okay. Mhm. Demonstrate the expertise. Don't call yourself expertise. Just demonstrate it tangibly. Okay. Mhm. How can I build in public with confidence, especially when I fear posting my work? Well, especially when I fear posting my work or feel I don't know enough. You will never know enough. Whenever somebody says, I fear that I don't know enough, that's a fool. 'Cause you will never know enough. So if your fear is not knowing enough, just know you'll be afraid for the rest of your life. That's what you're signing up for. If you're not doing something because you're afraid you don't know enough, you will remain afraid for the rest of your life. Because as I'm sat here, there are so many things I don't know. Okay. So you say, how can I build in public with confidence? Forget about just build in public. Forget about the stupid confidence. Just build in public. Build in public on confidence. Build in public looking stupid. Okay. Build in public looking ignorant. Just build and put it out there. What's all this qualifying? How can I build with confidence? Okay, so if you're not confident, you will stagnate your career. Is that what it is? If you're not confident, you will stagnate your career. You sit in poverty. Poverty will continue greeting you Saturday morning. Like, what is it? What's the alternative? Hmm? If you don't build in the public, what is the alternative? Uncle, I fear posting my okay. They don't post now. Now we they beg you to post. Now we they find content. Don't post. Don't post. You fear posting. Don't post. Don't post. Is it we that are begging you for content? Is it that content has finished that we need you to post your own? Don't post. Sit down there with your. Don't post. Feelings of isolation in okay, sorry, section 10. Feelings of isolation, imposter syndrome, and support. I, I feel this is what the person said. I feel alone in my tech journey. No one to ask questions. I fear disturbing people and I'm scared to post my work. I feel stuck as an advanced beginner data scientist. How do I get past this stage? You're not hungry enough. Somebody is feeding you, Abby. Like when it's time to eat, somebody says, food is ready. I don't, madam, I've laid the table. Abby, you still have somebody that when you want to go to market, you call them to send you money, Abby. Continue like that. Okay, you say you are an advanced beginner data scientist. Take those 4 words, go and make sandwich with it and eat. Hmm? You are not hungry enough. There are some questions people ask me. I'm like, somebody is still feeding you. Somebody is still clothing you. Somebody is still paying your bills. You say you feel alone in your tech journey. You feel alone in your tech journey. But that's the only way to take. See, can I tell you something? When babies are born, they cut the umbilical cord. What have you ever asked yourself like why when the baby why can't the baby just the mother will just be walking around with cord coming out of her womb? Why are we disconnecting the baby? Have you ever asked yourself that question? Every child that is born, they cut the umbilical cord. You know what that signifies? It signifies that child is alone. So you say you feel alone in your tech journey. Your tech journey is now you one now. Now you one. Now you one. Like as I did so, now me one. This so. All of now we dey here. Now one this so. Even though yes, we're in a room together, but after this session, all of us will go back to what? To our individual tech careers. Now so now. Now so. So if what you mean is, oh, you're looking for who to connect, welcome to the Queenary Circle. We are all here. Motsunrayo, Miracle, Marvelous, Bumi, Michael, Ego, the advocates, they are constantly posting. Hey, what's up, guys? Share your week in emoji. Good morning, good afternoon. Somebody have birthday, happy. Like you're here. What do you want me to enter your body? Hmm? You say no one to ask questions. There are people who leave this community because of volume of questions that people are asking. Some people are just tired of the notification. They'll just leave. I always laugh when I see it, because I know they'll be back. Like you say, you don't have anybody to ask questions. General, if you're not careful, you come back to general, you will see 600 messages. You say, 600 messages in one day. Because people are there asking questions. You say you don't have anybody to ask questions. It's like you and poverty are besties. Is that what it is? You don't want to break up with your bestie. You're not ready to break up with your bestie. Yeah? Is that what it is? Okay. You say you fear disturbing people. You have never been hungry. You have never been hungry. The Bible said that, because Christ used to go around, used to journey, used to waka, Christ, sabi waka, So one time waka come this place, where I get one blind man, what they call Bartimaeus. Bartimaeus. He was just sitting because he's blind. He doesn't know nowhere to move. And, probably didn't have any family because usually in those days, if you are blind but you have family, your family look after you. But blind Bartimaeus don't have anybody. That's why he was on the side there, he's begging. He can't hear say Christ, they come. This Christ, I don't hear say people, I don't open because of him. Yeah? Blind Bartimaeus say, no, I must get mine today. The Bible says as Christ was coming closer, usually when Christ walk out that time, people, they walk out with him plenty. So now they're always crowd. Blind Bartimaeus begin shout. From where he sit down so, begin shout. Shout at the top of his lungs. He shout. So they begin irritate people. People tell him, say, "May shut up, waiting. Now you Jesus want notice. I beg you. No be you." The Bible say, as people shut him up, Bartimaeus say, "Mba." He shout. He say he shout even more. I know say he shout something. Maybe his voice even crack. I believe Christ heard him the very first time. That's what I believe. The Bible doesn't say that, but I believe that. I believe Christ heard him. He just wanted to see how far will you go. So as Jesus can say, who that guy? The same people when they tell us, say, "May shut up." Now the same people can say, Baba, the master has asked for you. May we go. The same people. He that day did not end. He got his sight. He woke up that morning blind. He went to bed seeing because he refused to shut up. So you say you fear disturbing people. Like I say, you're not ready to break up with your bestie poverty. Not yet. You still want to keep that bestie around. Okay. When you are tired, when you are sick of it to your core, you will disturb people. Okay. You say, I'm scared to post my work. Don't post. I keep saying it. Those of you who no post, thank you, because less competition for we where they post. You understand? So anytime somebody tell me say they fear to post their work, I know they too encourage them to post, because why I go to encourage my competition? No post. No post. Make the internet not too choke. You understand? No post. I beg. So that when I post my own, visibility will be higher. I don't want to compete with too much posting. So make no post. I beg. No post. No post anything. No post. Okay, we're down to the last 3 questions. Then I have to leave you people. Okay. Partnership. This is section 11. Partnership and community. Okay. He say, is it possible to find a tech partner to grow with? What God cannot do does not exist. Okay. Does not. You say, is it possible to find a tech partner? It's very possible. Now, is it probable? I don't know. I don't know what your network looks like. I don't know how you put yourself out there. I don't know how attractive you are. I don't know if somebody wants to come and work with you now. They feel as if there's like, I don't know. You know, but possibility, almost definitely. Yeah. Anything is possible. Anything is possible. Are you looking for tech partner here in the circle? Reach out to the advocates. Are you in the general channel? Reach out to the advocates. I think we have collaboration channel. I think we have collabs channel. People who are looking to collab. You join the channel and look for somebody to partner with you. Are you talking about romantic partner? Are you trying to wrap your spouse and your tech, your accountability? Are you trying to wrap the two of them together? Wala deal. Me, I'm not a matchmaker. See, I don't know how to do it. I don't know. I can tell you not to marry somebody. I cannot tell you to marry somebody. That's, encouraging people to marry is not my ministry. My ministry is letting you know that you are about to marry a red flag. That's what I know how to do. Okay, I know how to analyze this. But if you're asking me, Queen Arit, should I marry? I know deal, because if I tell make una marry today, then tomorrow now you go bang your head. You say, "Oh, it's Queen Arit." That's my. Big. I don't want wahala. So I don't know what you mean by tech partner. Do you mean like somebody that you are romantically involved with and you're doing tech together? Wala do. Okay. But if you're looking for accountability body or somebody to practice with, we get plenty in the circle. You just have to open your mouth and talk. Section 12, early career reflection. Looking back, what's one thing you wish you did earlier in your career that made a big difference later? Networking. So if I could do my career all over again, I would have started networking even before I started boot camp. I would have started networking even before I started learning how to code. That's the one thing I didn't do that in hindsight I wish I had done. Yes. That's the one thing. I said I wasn't going to call country. Somebody now put country in the chat. You just like to fall people's hand. I said I wasn't going to call the country name. Went and put it in the chat. Okay. So yeah, that's the one thing. Networking, networking. Yeah. Okay, final question. Do you think success saves people from reality? Now for this Aristotle. I didn't know we have philosophers in Quinary Circle. What sort of Aristotle question is this? Um, does success save people from reality? You see, I'll tell you the truth, and I'm going to answer that question honestly because I think it's actually, an interesting question. When I was coming up, when I was young, there's something my father used to say all the time. And when he used to say it, I didn't really understand what he meant until I got older. My father used to say all the time, you cannot tell a fish water is wet. He used to always say that. I used to look at the man like, what is this old man talking about? I never used to understand. And he will never explain himself. One thing with my dad is when my dad shares a proverb, he never explains it. Because my father says if you have to explain a proverb, that means the person is not ready for the proverb. That's what he believes. So if somebody is confused by a proverb, that means they are not ready for it. That means the proverb is above them. So he never used to explain himself. He would just say it. You can never tell a fish that water is wet. When I was coming up, my parents tried for me. My dad tried, my mom tried. So they gave me an upbringing that I took for granted a lot. Okay, they gave me an upbringing that I took for granted. I thought that everybody is raised similar to me. There were a lot of privileges I took for granted. I didn't even realize that it was a privilege. I just thought it was normal life. One thing I tell my son, because my son is 14, so my son, he's on that age now where he's beginning to notice girls and all of that. So the other day he came and asked me a question. My son liked to ask me questions. So he came and asked me a question. So as he asked the question, I answered him. So and I said, okay, are you having anybody you are liking? He said, not really. He said that, but he just feels like some girls are noticing him. I said that does not surprise me. After all, I'm your mother. Lion is not a born goat. So he said, some girls are starting to notice him and, he wants to understand how to navigate it. I told him, I said, don't navigate anything. I told him. Because right now he's in form, I want to put it secondary school terms. He's in form 2. He's in form 2, about to enter form 3. Yeah. I told my son, I said, don't manage anything. He said, mommy, what do you mean? I said, ignore them. Any girl that is liking you, ignore them. He said, mommy, that's not nice. I said, it's not your job to be nice. That's what I told him. I said, ignore them. So he said, mommy, why? I said, because right now you have no clue where any of you will end up in life. That's what I told my son. I say, right now, you don't know what form is, like secondary school, form 1, form 2, form 3, form 4, form 5, form 6, JS1, JS2, JS3. My son is in JS2 now, about to enter JS3. Yeah. So I told my son, I say, at the level you people are now, none of you know where the other person is going to end up. Just because you are sitting in the same classroom together does not mean you are the same. Just because you are listening to the same teacher does not mean you were raised the same. Just because you are all under one roof in the school doesn't mean that your background is the same. So I told my son, I say, anybody liking you right now, ignore them because you don't know where they are going in life. I say the time to start taking relationships serious is after college. That is when manifestation starts. Right now, una look the same. All of una did JS2 together. All of you look like, So it can be very easy to look at this babe and you just look at the outward and you say, she's cute, she's fine, she has nice cheekbones. Okay. You don't know if there's a demon in her that is waiting to manifest when she's 25. That's what I told my son. So I told him, I say, now is for you to lay your foundation. The other day he came, he told me, say, Mommy, I want to start fading my hair every week. I said, do you have income? He said, no, Mommy, you're the one that will pay. I said, who told you? He said, but Mommy, there are boys in school. Every time they come to school, their edges are laid. I said, I don't give a shit about it. He said, no, but Mommy, I want to look good. I said, Judah, have your money. That's what I told my son. I said, have your money. Forget about those boys, those your age mates that are going to barber shop twice a week to go and get edge. Forget that. I said, Judah, have your money. Say, when you people are in your 20s, when you're 27, 28, 29, those same boys that have edge every week in school, they will be standing, you are trying to get enter club. They are in the line with the same babes that you feel they were attracted. They are in the line with them. You will pull up in your Lamborghini with bushy hair. I told my son, I say, with that your bushy hair, every girl on that line will come to your car. I told him. I say every girl will come looking for you. They will leave these boys that have been having, edge, sharp edge since they were teenagers. They will leave them and they will come looking for you. And that's your bushy hair. They will compliment. They will say, "Oh my gosh, I love afros. Oh my gosh, your afro is so awesome." So when I said that to my son, he now smiled at me. He now nodded. He said, "Okay, Mommy, I got it." I say, "Have your money. Okay, have your money. That's the only thing you need to worry about. Am I not a woman? I see me. Will I say, am I not a woman? The Bobby, the Toto that do I not have? I say, listen to me. I say, I'm your mother. Is it women? I know women. I say, leave them. Those ones that have sharp cuts that it looks like all the girls, leave them. That's their level. I told my son, leave them. Show up with your tangible success. The girls on their arm will leave them. You won't have to call them. They will leave on their own. And they will come to ask about you. Who is this guy? So that's what I told my son. So I said, that your science, go and study. That your mathematics, go and focus on it. Leave girls. I told my son, I said, you will never lack the factory that manufacture babes, no, they close. That's what I tell my son. I say, no worry. Leave them. Leave them to be going to be taking, whether $20 twice a week to go and be doing fade. No problem. Leave them to fade. Carry your nappy head the way it is. But you see this brain that you inherited from me, go and build it. That's what I told my son. So you say, why is she telling this story? I'm answering the question. Do you think success saves people from reality? I'll tell you for free. Success make life easier. Okay. It doesn't mean that you will not have issues. It doesn't mean you will not have problem. But when one of those problems is not deciding between textbooks and food for your children. Some of you know what I'm talking about. Some of you grew up like that, where they had to be making decisions between two top bills in the house. They had to be making decisions between two top things in the house. And you saw how those raising you agonized over those decisions. Okay, success does not necessarily make life happier, but it makes life easier. And a lot of times when life is easier, it is easier to be happy with life. So as I'm sat here, I'm not problem free. Far from it. Far from it. I am not problem free as I'm sat here. But yesterday, was it yesterday or the day before yesterday? My son came up to me, Mommy, please, I need two workbooks. I need a workbook in calculus and I need a workbook in algebra 2. These are the titles. Please, can you get it for me? 5 minutes. Amazon. It arrived yesterday. There was a time in my life I was not able to make a purchase like that. I had to go and consult budget. I had to open my banking app to see, okay, when this check clears, there was a time in my life I made those calculations every single day. But now my son can come asking for textbook and I buy it immediately. Even he was surprised. Say, Mommy, I thought you would think about what? You need textbook for algebra and calculus. No problem. I got you. Say, wow, Mommy, I gotta make this money. I say, amen, no. Amen. I discuss money very freely with my children because I want them to grow up expecting it. I don't want my children to grow up thinking that they will struggle to have money. No, you will not struggle to have money. Money is your nature. So I talk money with them all the time. All the time, I talk money with them. I talk investing. I talk credits. I talk this. I talk that. Banking. I talk money with my kids all the time because I want them to grow up expecting to be rich. Now I get it, especially in a place like Nigeria, where people are so corrupt looking for money. I'm not pushing corruption. Unfortunately, that's why, like I was saying, when I was growing up, because of how I was raised, relatively comfortably. So because of how I was raised, I just expected everybody to have, the same upbringing. So I took a lot of things for granted. I took a lot of things for granted. But having now come out as an adult, one thing I thank my dad for, Ethan James Amana, Chief Ethan James Amana, one thing I thank my dad for was when I became an adult, he stopped funding me. I thank my dad for that. When I finished school, that is when I graduated university, my father stopped funding my life completely. I'm grateful for that. I'm grateful for that because it made me to realize that the upbringing I had was not common. The upbringing I had was not magic, was not automatic, was not background. I saw the value in how I was raised when I was now left on my own to find my way. Yeah, I'm grateful for that. And it's the same way I'm raising my children. It's the same way I'm raising my children. I've already told my children, once you leave for college, don't come back. I've already told them, once you leave for uni, the only time you will enter this house again is to visit your mother, is not to live here. I'm already drilling it into their head good. So that when they get to that uni, they know it's a one-way street. It's not a two-way street. Once you're out, you're out. I've already told them, once you leave, I'm selling this house. And I'm downgrading to a two-bedroom, one small place somewhere. So I'm saying that to say success does not eliminate problems. You will still go through the problems of life, but success makes it easier to tackle those problems and for some of them to resolve them. Some problems you will never be able to resolve. They're just chronic. And what success can do is success can shield you from some of the impact of those chronic problems. A lot of times, chronic problems are attached to people. So problems that have, like, you say, oh, the generator has broken. Okay, let's fix it. Oh, the car, the engine don't knock. Okay, let's fix it. Hey, but the problems that tend to be chronic are people related problems. So the way to really solve a chronic people related problem is to buy the person, but you cannot buy the person. So usually those are the problems that you have to manage. You can't necessarily resolve it permanently. You just have to manage it because that is that person's level, that is their personality, that is their level of intelligence. What will you do? But success can help shield you from the impact of such chronic people related problem. Okay. So I wouldn't say it rescues people from reality, but it can make your life easier. It can make your life easier. Yes. Okay. All right, people. I've been with you for almost 2 hours, so I'm going to go now. But I've answered at least all the questions people sent in. I've touched most, if not all of them. Please, the questions that I said, go and ask ChatGPT. I mean it. A lot of times when you people send me questions, I plug it into ChatGPT and I copy the answer and I send to you. Okay. So if I am doing that, please go and do that for yourself. All right. So thank you for coming to Mentor Corner. Oh, Fina say premium parenting. I'm not a superhuman, no. Far from it. Far far from it. There are some people they will read that and they will be so angry with you because they know me, they don't see me finish. Yes. Far from it. I'm not. I just do the best that I can. I just do the best that I can, but I'm not a super. I know me. No, no, no. No. There's some people right now, they don't tie me for belay. They hate me with a passion. They don't like me at all. They do not like me. And I just think it's so amusing. One time, I can't remember who it was, whether it was my sister or somebody. Somebody was like, I think it was my sister. My sister was like, Mama, because the person called me Mama. It's only my family members that call me Mama. So I think it was my sister. So my sister was like, Mama, aren't you concerned that people will think you're a bitch? I told her, I say, I don't want them to be concerned. I don't want them to suspect. I want them to be absolutely sure. I want them to be sure, beyond a shadow of, I want them to be sure that this woman is a bitch. Yes, be sure. Don't think, don't suspect. I'm not. I don't like uncertainty. I want you to be certain of it. Yes. So that's where I am now. So unless you're paying my bills, I'm not saying you. Unless I have friends that will just, like one of my besties. Whenever she shops for her daughter, she always shops for my daughter. So she'll go shopping for her daughter. She will see some cute things and she will buy for my daughter just because. That's who I care what they think about me. It's people like that. Yes, it's people like that I will actually sit and say, my dear, what do you think about this thing that I did? How you did see her? And I actually listen to what she has to say. The rest of you can kick rocks with open toe shoes. I don't care. I really don't. Like, if you don't impute into my life, I care nothing about what you think. That's just my policy. And the same goes for me too. If I don't input anything into anybody's life, I don't expect them to take my words as gospel. So I don't walk around with heavy expectations on people. I don't do that. Some people say, mom, I'm so sorry. I left you on red. Leave me on red. You don't get life. Do you know how many people I leave on red? My own PA, I leave her on red sometimes. Joy. Joy will greet me, good morning, queen. I won't answer her for like 3 days. So if I'm like that, how can I start taking offense if people do me like that? No. What's good for the goose is good for the gander. You gotta take what you dare. So that's me. So the same way I don't care about what people who don't input into my life think. That's the same way I don't have opinion about people whose lives I don't input in. That's how I keep my peace. I don't have an opinion. I don't even think about you long enough to have an opinion about you. That's how I keep my peace of mind. That's how I stay focused. But it has made me, to many people, like a bitch. I've lost friends because of it. Because I used to be the one that used to carry everybody's load on my head. Oh my God, let's pray. Rabba, kamba, let us seek the Lord concerning this situation. Okay, now, if you cannot seek the Lord yourself, then stay with your situation. That's me now. That's me now. So I can stay focused. Because the best thing you can do for poor people is not be one of them. Okay? The best thing you can do for your poor family members is not be one of the poor family members. That's the best thing you can do. Okay. So that's how I live. That's how I'm raising my children. And anybody who says they sit under me as a mentee, anybody that calls Queen Arit their mentor, that's how I am mentoring you. That is how I am training you. That is how I'm also teaching you. There's nothing I teach here that I don't do. If I teach something that I don't do, it makes me a hypocrite. So I don't do that. I'm not perfect. Like I've already told you people. I know they find mansion for heaven. As I'm so I know that my own I just make I enter. As long as I enter. If they tell me say for eternity, I go they turn fufu for Apostle Paul. No problem. No problem. Anytime Apostle Paul want chop fufu, now me go turn am. I no get problem. So I'm not righteous. I always say it. I'm not a righteous person. I'm real. I'm authentic, but I'm not righteous. So if you're looking for a religious leader, you came to the wrong place. No be here. Okay? No be here. But if you're looking for somebody real, you're looking for who will tell the truth. Okay. So thank you so much for coming to Mentor Corner. This is the last one for 2025. So the next one will be 2026.